What's going on, people? It's your boy Tots back again, and we're gathered here today to mourn all of the Tottenham fans that really thought they could get Eze over my club. And we're here to tell them, hold that, Eze, here we go. Let's go, people. Big up yourself, everyone in the building. Make sure you guys smash up the likes and subscribe to the channel, because it's going to be a good one today, people. Are you mad? My club, you get me? I'm gassed. Come on, Jay. Here we go. The hijack of the century, the heist of the century. Big up Seth Rollins every single time. The ruse of the century. Tottenham Hotspur stunned. Absolutely stunned as Arsenal swoop in to agree a £67.5 million bid for Havertz. Are you crazy? Arsenal approached Crystal Palace after a Havertz injury, man. Big up everyone in the building. Make sure you guys smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel. Come on, this is going to be a good one. Big up my bro, Rambi. Are you crazy? Big up Rambi every single time. Says, yo, I'm here, bro. Come on, cheeky Eze and that. If you know, you know. Big up Rambi every single time. My brother, you know. Come on, G. But yeah, big up, man. Big up, big up, big up, big up. I'm gassed. You can tell I'm gassed. The energy is high. All of that good stuff. Also have agreed a deal worth up to £67.5 million for Havertz Eze. Apparently, I thought we had no money. Apparently, I thought we had to sell to buy. Apparently, I was told in this chat, my club has no pull. But guess what? We had one more left in us. One more left in the tank. One more left in the tank, blood. Oh, my days. They look poised to sensationally hijack Tottenham's move for the England forward, bro. I had this dopamine since Mesut Ozil. I had this dopamine for Spurs since Sol Campbell, bro. Underneath their noses. Like a thief in the night, like Home Alone. What is going on? Oh, my days. It is understood that Mikel Arteta's side made an approach to Crystal Palace over Eze after Kai Havertz sustained a knee injury during Arsenal's win against Manchester United. I actually seen apparently where this knee injury occurred. So right at the end of the game, it's 93rd minute, 94th minute. Agate lunges in at Havertz, fouls him, wins a free kick. Havertz gingerly gets up, looks like he's in a little bit of pain. And I reckon that was the kind of the tackle that made him get a little bit injured. So for me, it's crazy how things work out, because that was towards the end of the game. He didn't even need to even do that as well, by the way. And potentially we might not be in this position as well. Big up Chris, man, with the laughing emoji, brother. I am gassed. Oh, my days. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So Arsenal messed around all summer and only just got Eze done now after Spurs joined the race. Great signing for Arsenal if using the 10 position. Otherwise, he just waited on the left. Yeah, I agree, man. Listen, I feel like he can play on the left. And if you invert him into that kind of center of the middle, bro, then I feel like you could definitely get the best out of him. But I get what you're saying. In the 10, in the 8, in those kind of central positions, he's going to be key. He's going to be at his best. And also, he's a transitional monster, bro. If you need that final passing transition, we've seen it loads of times with Odegaard in that Man United game. He's just not that type of player. He's a player that keeps possession. He's a ball retention kind of number 8, in my opinion. Eze is a proper transition number 10. He's someone that can get the ball when you win it high up the pitch at Anfield or at the Etihad, sorry, and he can just play those balls into the path of said striker. So, yeah, very, very gust, man. Big ol' Rambi says, Hannibal also just retweeted the biggest tweet I've ever seen. Let me have a look at this, bro. Let me have a look at this, bro. Hannibal, listen, he comes when it's needed, man. I'm telling you, bro. He's been missing for a minute. He's been quiet for a minute. But yeah, it's mad. It's all mad. Let's have a look at this, man. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this. Eze has been a revelation for Crystal Palace, says Bobby, a unique talent with a distinct ability to glide past players, every motion with indescribable amount of poise. He's unquestionably the most iconic player to adore the Crystal Palace shirt. Listen, what scored the winning goal in their only trophy, their first ever trophy. He's definitely going to get a statue, of course. He's going to be cemented in Crystal Palace history for eternity. For eons, for decades. He's going to be the guy. So, yeah, when Eze signed for Palace, he manifested, I hope to entertain you and I hope you enjoy me as much as I enjoy you. 5 years of being kept on the edge of their seats following the Selhurst Park faithful although the start of the journey saw supporters restricted to the confines of their living rooms due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A stunning free kick against Leeds, earning his first goals in the red and blue. Who could have predicted the glory that followed? Everyone will always be remembered of the masterful performance against Sheffield United when he drifted past his own half in the edge of the Blades' penalty area before drilling into a low corner. He has learned, developed, and evolved into a top-class player at Palace. He has not only been smooth, dropped by Vieira, and not forget the Achilles injury. Yeah, I remember that Achilles injury. That was at the start of the season as well, where he basically missed the entire year, man. But he carried himself with a grace throughout. Although everyone connected with Palace wished they had seen more of it, the wishes he had shared on the pitch with Michael Elise were ones to savor. When Elise departed last summer, Eze was forced to show the even more creative mantle. Despite struggling for the first half of last season, Eze showed his marvellous quality when he might have a goal for England against Latvia, making it him the first Crystal Palace to score for the Three Lions in 49 years. Seemed to turn this season around. 25 goal contributions in all competitions last season, only 8 of them which came before the turn of the year. So his turn in form definitely increased. The man went super sane basically in the second half of the year, did his thing, all of that good stuff. Palace are not only losing their first-rate footballer, but exponentially explanatory character, loved by fans, community, and the dressing room. Born in Greenwich, he represents South London, a humble and grounded character whose purpose is to give back to it via his foundation, which creates an opportunity for children from the capital, which who may have typically been overlooked. 2 pieces of silverware in his final months at the club feels a fitting end for the FA Cup winner. Now he will get his last dance as Palace embark on their first ever European campaign, the perfect way to bid farewell to the great. So apparently it was his wishes to play this final game. I didn't realize that's Selhurst Park. I know that obviously they're in the Conference League. Obviously it's too late or whatever. I thought the first leg was away, but it's actually at home. Selhurst Park, Channel 5 as well. Make sure you check that out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he comes out unscathed. I'm touching wood right now. But yeah, it should be a good occasion for every Palace fans to get to say goodbye. And I feel like he's going to be leaving on very good terms as well with how he's handling himself. Big up everyone in the building. Big up Rory, my brother. What are you telling me, my guy? They better include Sol Campbell in the announcement bit. Oh, they have to, Rory, bro. It will be an opportunity missed. I'm telling you, man. Opportunity missed if they don't include either a phone call, him driving the car, something in the background, even if he's not physically in it. He's pictured next to as a something, bro, some kind of subliminal. You have to do it at Arsenal. You have to do it. But yeah, big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel as well, man. Come on, people. Come on. What's going on? You might have to do a watch along for the you know what? It's crazy, man. Man saying that. Scout watching that. Big up Rory, man. Come on, G. That's too funny, man. That's too funny. But yeah, man. It's understood that Mikel Arteta's side made an approach for Crystal Palace over Eze after obviously he had an injury, like I said. But the uncertainty prompted Arsenal to accelerate their interest in Eze, with sources indicating that they have remained in constant contact with the 27-year-old's representation all summer. So yeah, apparently I'm going to read the article later on. So apparently this deal was done nearly 2 weeks ago, apparently. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. Tottenham have looked in pole position to sign him after stepping up their interest over the weekend, and are believed to have agreed a deal with close to £68 million, which expired last week. So yeah, big up obviously Rambier as well, man. He obviously, I was on the phone to him yesterday. He did say he had a sneaky feeling, he had a gut feeling that Arsenal were going to hijack the deal. And we were both like, nah, that's not going to happen. No way. It's Arsenal. We're not going to do that. Our business is done, etc., etc. So to the fact that it's actually come through, big up Rambier every single time. But yeah, man, you know what? It did feel like, obviously in hindsight, it did feel like it was dragging a little bit because, again, Fabrizio Romano was spamming the tweets. Here we go. It's close. Advancing, etc., etc., etc. So you're thinking, yeah, maybe the deal was in our brains was advancing more than it actually was, considering how many times he was mentioning it. So yeah, obviously they were stalling for a reason, and this must have been the reason, man. Yet with Arteta keen to add to his attacking reinforcements as they attempt to become champions for the first time since 2004. It's understood that the sporting director Andre Berta and vice chairman Tim Lewis contacted Palace on Wednesday night to gazump their North London rivals. Eze, who has made no secret of his desire to test himself at the highest level by playing for a club in the Champions League, has indicated he would prefer to join the club that would release them. What a story as well, bro. I want to see a massive backstory as well in terms of like what's going on with Eze and how he's obviously his journey from obviously being in the academy to what he's done at QPR and then Palace and then actually full circle, man. I need to see a whole montage of it, bro. That bro, it has to be bad. It has to be epic. Number 10 shirt is there. Come on, Rambi, big up G. Come on, bro. But yeah, man, I've got to see a whole montage on it, man, for sure. And also, I believe to have agreed a deal with the Palace chairman, Steve Parish, in which they will pay a large chunk of the initial 60 million fee up front, with another 7.5 in bonuses. QPR, from who Palace signed him in 2020 for a 19.5 million, are due for a 15% sell-on fee of any profit they make. Personal terms are not expected to be an issue. So, yeah, that's obviously all done and dusted. But, yeah, obviously QPR, they're eating as well, bro. And that's a little 15% on top of the 20 million they got in 2020. So that's the only good thing about sell-on fees, bro. You can still eat 3-4 years after, man, when you forgot about the player, or you might be in obviously financial difficulties. Someone else could do the work for you, basically, and then yeah, you could get some free money in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a very, very good business. It's understood that Eze will play for Palace in the first leg of the Conference League playoff on Thursday, and have an opportunity to bid farewell to the supporters after scoring the winning goal in the FA Cup final in May. He's expected to complete his medical and become Arsenal's 7th signing, bro. I feel like, and I don't know, someone might correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this is the most Arsenal have ever signed players. Like the 7. I can't remember another window where we've signed 7 players in one in it. I mean, I'm trying to think. I remember obviously the window we signed 6 when it was Tomiyasu, Tavares, Lokonga, Ramsdale, Odegaard, and Ben White. That was when we signed 6. I think that's been the most under Arteta. But yeah, this would be 7, man. 7 in one window is crazy. Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace manager, praised Eze's attitude, as speculation has mounted over his future, with doubts over whether he will feature against Chelsea in the opening Premier League game. Havertz, who played 31 minutes as a substitute on Old Trafford on Sunday, did not take part in an open training session at the Emirates on Wednesday morning. His absence would leave Arteta with obviously just new signing Victor Gyökeres as the only available recognised striker in his squad, with Gabriel Jesus not expected to return from a knee injury in the near future. Mikel Merino filled in when Havertz missed 18 matches last season after sustaining a hamstring injury in February. And the Spanish midfielder scored 7 goals from then till May. Very, very good return, to be fair, considering he's not a striker. Arteta expressed his desire that Havertz could play alongside Gyökeres in pre-season. Kai can play in different positions as well, says obviously Arteta. I think it elevates the quality of the squad and the goal threat that we have in the team. The options that we have to change and provide oppositions with a lot of problems. We've already spent 200 million, but the club are still hoping to move on a number of fringe players before the end of the transfer window. Yeah, we need to start getting rid of some players, man. In all seriousness, like, again, we've got signed 7 players in, but we've not got rid of anyone yet. And again, there's 9 days left to the transfer window. You still got Zinchenko. You've still got obviously Kivio if you want to sell him. But it's crazy because I feel like if you sell one of these players, that you probably need to replace one of them. Like, it's especially if you sell both, because it's like these are both obviously left back options. Obviously, Kivio's the centre back cover as well. And yeah, I don't know. Does it leave us a bit short? I don't know what you guys think, man. But big up everyone in the building, man. Big up my brother Darren in the building. Come on, bro. I know you must be gassed about this, my guy. Big up T Chanzo Sports. Big up Darren every single time. Live and direct from Jamaica with Seth. Gaza with Seth. Come on, G. But I said, Ed say, bro, I am so gassed. I cannot believe it. I'll be honest. I thought Arsenal's business was done. I didn't think we signed any other player. Obviously, it's crazy because the journalists and everyone was briefed that potentially Arsenal, even after the Kai Havertz injury, would probably be looking at loans. I'm seeing us linked with Jamie Vardy and all these guys. Yeah, I'm thinking, nah, this is some joke man thing. But bro, literally the same day, this news comes out about Eze, etc. And apparently now I've just seen on TalkSport that this Havertz injury might not even be as bad as first thought, which kind of begs the question: Did we even have to let Havertz or get injured, or rely on Havertz to get injured to do this deal? Because again, if it's a thing where he's actually not going to be out for too long, then yeah, man, we've actually paid nearly £70 million, man, for a quality player. Like I said, this is a player that can help us in a plethora of positions, man. I'm talking about in that number 10 role. I'm talking about on the left-hand side. I'm talking about in the number 8 role, if necessary as well. Someone that's creative, someone that can provide goals, assists. He can score free kicks. We've just seen one that was unluckily disallowed at the weekend against Chelsea. Brother, it's actually mad. It's actually mad. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano, medical at Arsenal has been booked from Friday. So yeah, after tonight's game. So tomorrow the medical's booked. This has gone rapidly, by the way. This might have been the quickest. This one and the Norgard one might be the quickest I've seen Arsenal ever move for a transfer, you know. But in terms of like links coming out, the fact that we're interested in the links, deal agreed, personal terms agreed, medical booked, like what, like this is what I like to see, bro. None of this Gyökeres drag out, None of this, all these other kind of players that we've seen drag out for like Subameni, for example, which obviously got announced at the end of the season. Bro, this is how I like transfers, man. This is how I used to be back in the day, by the way, without Twitter and obviously social media. You just used to see it, on Sky Sports News or whatever, saying, yeah, boom, we link with a player, boom, we're going to sign a player. And that was it. But yeah, it just hits different, man. It just hits, especially when you think, or you're not expecting us to get a particular player as well, man. So, all good, bro. All good, man. I can't lie, I'm very, very gassed. Man said, Rambi, bring Vardy anyways for the back. Bro, man said Red Bull vibes, you know. Kind of Red Bull and that. That's mental. Big up, Rambi. Oh, so gas. I can't believe we're signing this guy, bro. Also have agreed a 67.5 deal with the Crystal Palace for Eze. It's mad. It's actually mad. Bro, I thought we had no money left. That's what people are telling me. And look at this, 70 mil out of nowhere. Big up Darren says, I'm officially a better believer. Now, listen, this is what I always say, bro. Give it to the end of the window to see what man does. People are obviously cussing him and saying he's not got players in. Then people are saying, oh, he's got players in. I'm like, bro, I always said I'm going to give it to the end of the window before I judge his overall performance in the transfer window. Because, again, you just don't know what's going to happen. No one thought we were going to get Gyökeres. Really, everyone was kind of convinced we were going to get Sesko. And then we've ended up getting Gyökeres, which for me personally, I was happy with because I was a striker I wanted over Sesko. And then, to be honest with you, there was a period of time where I thought we're going to get Eze, where obviously Ben Jacobs and a couple of other reporters were reporting it quite regularly. And then it went obviously flat dead when Yeri signed his contract. And then the talk was, and this is what makes me laugh, man. And this is why I feel like, again, you got to take what people take with a pinch of salt. Because everyone and the dog was telling me, even when Yeri, because we've signed him, it's going to affect the Eze deal. We see it's going to be a block to his pathway. Well, we're signing Eze anyway, and we've still got Ethan now. So, yeah, obviously, that wasn't the case. You get me? So, yeah, maybe Arsenal were briefing these kind of people, to be fair. It's not always their fault. They just kind of read what they've been told in it, which Arsenal wanted to be put out in the media. Maybe that kind of strengthened their kind of position when it comes to, obviously, buying the player, etc., etc. Going to be very interesting to see, because, again, this is pretty much what the release clause was, which at the time, I thought was worth it anyway. I thought 68 mil. We just paid 52 for Madueke. People like Alanga and all these guys going for 55 plus. Bro, 68 for a guy that's I think is better than all of those guys, definitely for sure. Is not a bad business if I'm being honest, man. Big up everyone locked in, man. Make sure you guys like what the video and subscribe to the channel if you've not already, man. It's a big one today, man. It's a big one today. Barichieze. Here we go. Big up G Tan 100 says Arsenal snipers. Come on, G. Let's go, man. Man said, big up Darren says, Gyökeres unlocks. Listen, man, if it's anyone that can unlock a play, it's definitely going to be Eze, bro. Like 100%. And I feel like, again, this is going to be good. And for me, this will maybe put Odegaard into gear as well, because we've actually got an option. For example, at Old Trafford, when Odegaard is getting a bit tired and he's pressing and he's struggling, if Eze's on the bench, you actually can see Mikel Arteta bringing him on to replace him, because he's a guy that's experienced, the guy that I think he can trust. With Ethan, there's always that kind of thing of waiting on the game state. If it's a tight game, if it's against a big team, is he going to trust him to do things defensively? Which, again, he's 18. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of apprehension there to play an 18-year-old in certain positions, even though he's 18. I think you're going to see that maybe a bit more with Lewis Skelly as well, especially if Calafiori can stay fit. I feel like there'll be a bit more kind of strategic kind of putting him into place in terms of certain teams, rather than just chuck him in the big game. Sorry. So yeah, that's definitely something you've got to have a look at and work on as well, people. But big up, man, says how Arsenal silently hijacked Spurs' Eze transfer well before anyone knew. Exclusive, Miguel Delaney. He says it seemed like Arsenal swooped past their North London rivals on Wednesday, but they made their move much earlier than that. So this is an exclusive, apparently. I don't know how true it is, but apparently the deal was done way before this kind of initial kind of yesterday. Apparently it was all done on Sunday. So going to be very interesting, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Big up Darren says, give me a proper left winger now and lock it off. Listen, surely not, Darren. Surely we can't get another winger, bro. Surely not. I mean, hey, India Cali, man, tier 1, you know. Actually, let me get to India Cali, man, because apparently that leads me swiftly on to the news that he dropped yesterday. Now, I don't know if he's jumping on the hype. I don't know if he knows there's a lot of traction with Arsenal fans at the minute with the whole Eze news and obviously hijacking Spurs and all that. And if there's any Spurs fans in the chat, how do you feel? Like, banter aside, obviously it's funny to get one over on you as well, again. But banter aside, how do you, man, feel with this obviously deal? Because again, you were pretty confident that you were going to obviously get Eze. It's been dragging out for a couple of weeks for you, man. We weren't obviously even linked with him at all since that even when Yeri deal was announced that we're going to get him, we weren't linked with him at all. And now out of nowhere, we've just ended up getting him. And also as well, what's happening with Savinho? Are you still getting that guy? There was obviously compilation, of Spurs fans saying they're going to get Kudus, Eze, Savinho, the back, etc., etc. And that seems to have stalled. And then obviously Eze is not joining your club as well. So very interesting, man. Very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, bro, you know what? I don't know what you guys think. This has been probably the best transfer window, not in terms of a personal thing with Arsenal, but just in terms of as a whole with the drama, players going here, there, and everywhere that I've seen in years, man. Honestly, it's just been absolutely hectic when it comes to, like, it's like every club has had their own kind of scenario, own kind of saga when it comes to Man United and the Mbeumo stuff, that dragging out there, obviously going on to Sesko stuff, Chelsea with their kind of drama with Gittins, and then obviously João Pedro and stuff like that. You go on to Liverpool with Isak, Manchester City obviously got their deal done. They've probably been the less kind of dramatic kind of team so far, man. But yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. But yeah, man, I feel like for me personally, it's been a massive signing. If I'm being honest, man. Massive signing indeed, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you've not done it already, make sure you do it. Obviously, I'm Tops. Do a morning show Monday to Friday, all that good stuff, talking all things transfers, all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's definitely something you're gonna get locked into. So yeah, man, let's obviously get on to what Delaney said. This is kind of a bit quicker here. The Independent can now reveal that Arsenal had actually struck the principles of an agreement with Crystal Palace of Havertz as early as the morning of Sunday, the 10th of August. So this is way before the transfer, and this is where I feel there's been conflicting kind of issues here, because people are saying that these kind of release clause ended at the start of the month, the 1st of August. People are saying it was at the start of the season, which I think was the 15th or 16th of August. But according to this, Sunday, the 10th of August, apparently a deal was struck in place in principle on an agreement with Arsenal Crystal Palace, which is kind of strange because this is way before Havertz even got injured. Havertz obviously was on the bench, but this is way before he even got injured. So that's very interesting. Tottenham's negotiations for Eze had encountered repeated difficulties over the last few days, and there were constant holdups. And so I was hearing obviously from Fabrizio, another kind of journalist, Crystal Palace needed a replacement, and Crystal Palace needed to get this, and obviously don't want him to play against Chelsea and stuff like that. So at the time, I did think it was a bit weird, but crazy how it's obviously worked out. There's now belief that, especially within Spurs, that Crystal Palace were stalling and were waiting for Arsenal to come back. There is hope that Kai Havertz's absence won't be that long, potentially less than 3 months. So he's saying 3 months. Obviously, it's an injury, so you'd assume it's going to be months rather than weeks. But again, I did see something about TalkSport saying that potentially he could be out for a few weeks, which could be 3 or 4 weeks, to be fair. If that. Just talking about obviously Steve Parish and obviously Arsenal's vice chairman Tim Lewis's relationship. Apparently they're very close. Arsenal have players they can offer that Crystal Palace need. It is possible a deal is done for Jakub Kiwior, given Palace's need for a centre half on that side. Yeah, obviously Mark Gay is going to be obviously leaving. You would assume he's probably going to be going to. What I'm saying, it's probably going to be going to Liverpool. So yeah, potentially that's a massive deal that can be done, man. But yeah, like Darren said, give me a proper left winger now and lock it off for sure. Listen, man, what do you guys rate obviously any Arsenal fans in here? What do you guys rate the transfer winner? I'm going to give it I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm probably going to give it a 7.5. But see, if we get a winger, brother, yeah, because again, I said at the start. I said I wanted a striker, a left winger, and then to be fair, I did want either or a 10 or a backup to Saka. Potentially, if we do get another left winger, which would be crazy. But nah, listen, we Eze can play there, but for me, he's more of a central option for me personally. I think potentially if we could maybe move out Martinelli, man, or Trossard, whichever one. I mean, again, it looks like Trossard's going to be staying because of the contract he signed. But either one, man, that would be amazing. If I'm being honest, that would be amazing. Big up everyone in the chat, man. Make sure you guys like on the video if you've not done it already. But yeah, that would be amazing, man. That would be amazing. But yeah, this is kind of what the exclusive that India Kali reported yesterday. Exclusive Saudi Arabia clubs are circling around Gabriel Martinelli. One club ready to pay 80 million British pounds for its services. 80 million British pounds. No way. This cannot be real. The option is there for Arsenal to decide. How could the fact they're saying decide, brother? 80 million? Nah, man. I don't know. It feels far-fetched. This cannot be real, bro. 80 million for Gabriel Martinelli, and people are umming and ahhing. Get this guy out of here, man. What's going on? Get this. See that? Ease that one. Oh, see that one? Yeah. Get this guy out of it. Now, in all seriousness, though, if that is kind of the case, that is a massive deal. And especially, like I said before, where I've been telling Arsenal, listen, you've got to sell at the right time. You cannot wait. You cannot always wait for players to be out of form before you want to move them on. And again, Martinelli is out of form. Bless me. Martinelli is out of form, but I think it'll be a crucial period of time to I said take it Ross. We got Darren, you know. Oh my days, my guy, you know. We got Darren. Listen, you got to take the money, man. You've got to take it. This is a perfect opportunity to obviously get some money back into the books and also balance out the books with incomings and that. And bro, this would surely allow us to even try and get someone else, man. Because again, 80 million is a lot of money to come in. That would make our net spend maybe less than just over 100 million or something like that. So, brother, yeah, bro, if that's true, again, it's Indy Callier. But again, he did get the co-sign from David Ornstein for the belabored kind of news, but I don't know if it's been legit, if I'm being honest, man. So we'll have to wait and see with that one. But it does seem like potentially now the direction could be into Martinelli getting sold, with Trossard obviously signing a new deal, not of obviously more extension, but more money would insinuate he's going to be staying this season. Otherwise, why would Trossard agree to sign more money for him to leave to go somewhere else? Because one, it's going to be harder for him to get that contract somewhere else, and two, we would have just upped his money for 2 weeks and then he's going to be gone. So it would just be a bit weird, isn't it? So yeah, I reckon that potentially could be a deal that we see obviously take off in the near future, man. But yeah, overall, I'm gassed, man. I can't lie, I'm happy, bro. I'm very, very happy. Eberechi Eze is a fantastic signing, man, for Arsenal. And like I said, it just opens up a load of avenues for us to attack teams differently. And also, as well, it does put a bit of pressure on Martin Odegaard, wherever you want to say. At the minute, even though we all rate Ethan Nwaneri, we all know that there's a kind of a hierarchy kind of dynamic in terms of Odegaard's the captain, Odegaard's 26, Ethan Nwaneri is 18. Not to say you can't displace him, but it's going to be very difficult to convince Arteta, for example, ahead of the team, to play an 18-year-old ahead of someone like obviously Odegaard. With Eze, 27, Premier League proven, someone that can play number 10, can play in the Premier League number 10. If you're not pulling up your weight, you're on the bench, bro. And I don't think anyone, and the thing is as well now, with him coming in, people are going to be calling for it, especially if Odegaard is still dropping in like some stinkers, man. So, yeah, it does put, and it's what you need at the club, bro. You need players that are comfortable to get put pressure on, because again, that's what makes everyone raise their game, because they know they're going to be on the bench. Havertz knows now, whereas before he was kind of new. If he was fit, he's going to be playing striker. He knows we've got a new striker now. So if Havertz ain't doing things when he's coming off the bench or whatever, obviously when he comes back from injury, he's going to be on the bench, and my man's going to be starting games. Same with obviously Odegaard now, with Eze coming in. Again, this is why you kind of want on the left-hand side. You've seen it with Martinelli, and when obviously Trossard came in, he knew that obviously he had to step up his game. So yeah, that's definitely what you want within the club for sure. Obviously, Kivior is understood to prefer a move overseas, despite interest from other Premier League clubs. Obviously, that'll be Crystal Palace as well, after he deputised for the injured Gabriel Magalhaes last season. Also are in talks with Stuttgart over a move for Fabio Vieira, while that seems like he's going to be going off for ages. While Reece Nelson could rejoin Fulham after spending last season on loan with the West London club, Eze's potential rival could also mean they step up attempts to sell Leandro Trossard. So again, I don't think anyone knows this kind of article saying that we're going to sell Leandro Trossard, even though he's obviously reports that he's just signed a new deal. So yeah, don't be surprised if after obviously Eze gets confirmed, one of these guys quickly get removed, in terms of like it's accelerated, or we've accepted the bid from Stuttgart for 17 million, and we go on from there. Because I feel like, again, when you're looking at the facts of Fabio Vieira still being there, remember 9 days to go till the season starts, and again, there is a limitation in terms of how many players you can obviously put into the squad. I think it's 25 non-homegrown players, and I think we've got over the limit with that, because again, last season we didn't have the likes of Fabio Vieira in the squad. He was on loan, Lokonga was on loan, Kyle Hein was on loan. So if these guys are not obviously got moves away, they're going to be at the club still, which means we're going to have to try and accommodate for them to be in the squad, or put them in the reserves, put them in obviously outside the team, because you already got a limited amount of spaces anyway. So yeah, very interesting. And I'm not sure. I'm guessing Eze is going to count as homegrown as well, because he's English. I'm not sure how it works. I assume so. He should do. But again, there's obviously kind of complication with Madueke. I think now he's counted as a homegrown player himself. So we've still got a few homegrown players, few English players now. These obviously Eze, Madueke, Saka is the three. So yeah, Very interesting. Ben White's there as well. So yeah, man. Big RS is at LOL. Eze is now your left winger. He ain't dropping Odegaard for him. Says RSL76. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll definitely see, bro. I definitely feel like because Odegaard, he's probably not going to play every single game. So there is going to be opportunities for him to play in that 10 for sure. Because yeah, Odegaard obviously had a massive injury last season. And there'll be games where he probably gets rested as well. So we'll have to wait and see how he obviously navigates to it, man. But again, if Eze's playing left A, but it's not the touchline winger that Martinelli is obviously been doing. If it's kind of what Martinelli did in that Bilbao game, where he's kind of inside forward and you're playing Eze like that, that's how you have to play him. Like, there's no point putting him on the touchline because he's not going to be effective. He has to be in the middle for sure. But yeah, I'm too gassed. I'm just gassed that we got him as an option, if I'm being honest. Big ol' Joseph said doesn't change anything. Arteta will still play Madueke, Odegaard. That's the problem. His choices. We'll have to wait and see, Joseph, man. Obviously, we've got signing. At least we've got the option there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure as well, if he's playing and still playing Odegaard and Madueke, and we're not getting results, everyone's going to be on him. Let's be honest, everyone's going to be on him. And this is why I kind of wanted these kind of players in, not just because obviously they're great players, but I feel like it just eliminates any more excuses in terms of we haven't got this kind of player or we haven't got that kind of player. Because let's be real, we should be winning trophies, man. This team is definitely good enough to win trophies now. 100%. It was before anyway, let's be honest. But now we've got a proper striker. Now we've got Eze. Now we've got different creativities. We've got enough, bro, to win a trophy of some sort, surely. But for me, we should be trying to go for the Prem. I always said it as well. Whether we can win it or not is obviously a different story. But yeah, the team, the defensive structure is obviously stable. The midfield obviously has come from a few different kind of reworking in terms of adding some many Norgard, but again, we've still got good players in there. And then striker force is looking a bit more balanced now, a bit more meaty. If you're using Madueke as a backup to Saka, then I've got no problem with it. Because again, I've complained and said Saka needed backup. He gets flogged. And we've actually got backup if that was the case. So yeah, man. But he's one of those ones for sure. Big up RS. He says we all know that Arteta loves playing people out of position. Again, it's one of those ones where the players that he plays out of position normally are better in the out of position that he plays them in. Marino up front, Havertz up front, Ben White right back. So yeah, so we'll have to wait and see how he obviously operates as a bot. Like I said, man, I'm just gassed we've got him. He's not dropping his captain in the golden boy. Listen, man, the thing is that people say that, but I think Odegaard's been the most subbed captain in the Premier League during the period of time he's been captain, bro. He's been subbed. I think he was the most sub player last year. And that's a stat that I read. He was subbed a lot last year. Again, he wasn't playing very well, so I can understand why. And that was without even kind of a out-and-out number 10 option. Obviously, Ethan wasn't really relied upon there. He normally played on the right when he came on. So we'll have to wait and see, man. Well, Eze ain't holding bench as Sir Odegaard has to. Says that this is what I'm saying, bro. Again, we're with this kind of when you got multiple players, fans are going to be very vocal if you don't get results, and players that they deem to be better than the players that are on the bench are not playing or not starting. People are gonna be like, why is Eze on the bench? We've just drew 1-1 at home to Fulham. Odegaard stinking out the gaff. Eze is on the bench. What's going? This is what happens, man. This is what happens. This is what we want, though, innit? We want accountability. We want pressure to be put on to make sure we obviously win. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm happy with it. Big ol' Rambia, it says, yeah, homegrown. Madueke weren't originally classed as homegrown because he left Spurs at 16 for PSV. Okay, I think they need like 2 or 3 years of English football education between 16 and 21. Big up Rambia for letting me know, for clarifying that, brother. That's why I think Martinelli and Saliba are homegrown. That makes sense, bro. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense, my guy. Big up. Odegaard is his captain. He won't take the captaincy from him. He plays. Listen, again, the thing is, you don't even need to take it off him because we've seen, and I don't think it's a coincidence, we've seen a lot of games now where Odegaard was injured or pre-season. We've seen Saka as the captain. Now, Saka's another one you could say even more so is quote-unquote favorite of Arteta. He's someone that plays all the time, plays too much, in my opinion. So don't be surprised if Odegaard is on the bench for one of these games and Saka's the captain, isn't it? Whether I don't even agree with that. I think it's got to be Rice or Gabriel, in my opinion. It's got to be one of them, man. I mean, you could say they're kind of captains without the captain armband, which I understand and agree. But I don't know, man. I think stylistically, aesthetically, you just like to see the captain armband on someone that you like. This guy's going to go to war with. How many times has Gabriel just backed the thing on his own? Rice, bro, we know what Rice is, man. Rice is a leader naturally. So, but yeah, it is what it is. As long as we win, I don't really care, to be honest with you. That's kind of semantics here or there. As long as we win, I don't feel like it should be stopping us from winning. Because again, if you guys see obviously Odegaard performing at a higher level, whatever it may be, it's gonna have a high chance of us winning, especially with the likes of Eze and Gyökeres, etc., etc. Man, Eze has signed, but I just don't see Odegaard being dropped, to be honest. Yeah, we'll see, man. Again, it's hard to obviously see as well because again, he's the captain. and stuff like that. And listen, if he's playing well, then again, he start him in it. Like for me, it's not about even just dropping him because he just to drop him. It's obviously the performances he's been putting in the last, I don't know, 12 months or whatever it may be since his injury, which is obviously questioning obviously people's kind of faith in him in terms of, is he actually the guy to take us forward? But yeah, if you got competition, then you've got the option to pick and choose which games he plays in. And I feel like potentially that might relieve some pressure off him because we're seeing him every week. And that's why I feel like with Martinelli as well, because you see Martinelli start every single game and he flats to deceive every single game. You just get irritated by it. Like naturally, you're just like, bro, I'm seeing him play 5 games and he's done nothing all 5, start all 5. But if you break it up and he starts 1, he's on the bench for 2, starts another 2, he's on the bench for 3, and it kind of breaks up the kind of correlation of, okay, maybe he's on the bench, he might do something. And then he might come off the bench, he might get an assist, and you're like, oh, okay, that was decent from Martinelli. Maybe he's better off the bench. And I feel like that's kind of the way to kind of protect certain players when they're having a hard time of it. You can obviously, because there's so many games, we're going to have loads of games, guys. Like, we've got Champions League games, 8 in there. We're going to have League Cup games. There's obviously all the Premier League games. There's going to be so much time for us to rotate players, man. Because, again, we're going to get injuries. We've already got an injury with Havertz already, first game, and he's going to be out for, I don't know, God knows how long. So we're going to get injuries, guys. That's just the way it goes, isn't it? So I feel like there's going to be enough time. Because this is why people were saying, what about Ethan and stuff? Ethan will get game time for sure. Because we've got too many games. And again, that's with everyone fit. People are going to get injured. So it's going to be an opportunity for him to play. So I'm not too worried about that. I feel like you need a bigger squad anyway. So yeah. And now it's him and Enzo at Chelsea. Says good on codes, pick up yourself. Miles Lewis-Skelly isn't better at left back. He hasn't got a clue what he's doing. Listen, with Miles Lewis-Skelly, I feel like he had a very good season last year, considering he's 18 and he's playing in a position that he wasn't his own. Now, do I see going forward him staying in that position? I personally don't think he should do. I can see why, because again, it's an easy place for him to put in the team. But again, I feel like I want to see him in midfield at some stage of his career for sure, because I think he's got all the attributes to be a really good midfielder in terms of him being very, very good on the ball, him being very strong on the ball. He's able to find a pass, pass. I think at left back, as in certain situations, we can see, obviously, he's not in his natural position, so certain kind of actions defensively, he's not actually going to be in there. Even though I feel like in the overall thing, I feel like he's defending very well. But it's one of those ones where it's kind of, is it a thing where you quit while you're ahead? Obviously, he had a very good season last year there. I thought he was decent. He made a few mistakes, but again, he's 18, out of position, kind of. But yeah, is it something long-term? I don't know. I feel like he wants to play kind of Fury there because of his attacking threat. And again, defensively, you got to look at him and say, you know what, he's not a natural left back either. Listen, it would not surprise me if we sold Kivior and got a left back, man. He just won also Zinchenko and got another left back. So we'll see. We will see for sure, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new, all of that good stuff. But yeah, obviously Arsenal doing their thing, signing Eberechi Eze. Apparently his medical is going to be on Friday. His last game is going to be tonight against, I can't remember who they against, but in the obviously Conference League qualifier. And big RS, he got quite out of position too much, and that then made rash decisions, in my opinion. Listen, he definitely, again, he's not perfect. And someone, the thing is with me, RS, is that obviously you got to take into account his age, his out of position, stuff like that. I thought he did decently well for him being dashed in, really, if I'm being honest. Again, he's not going to be perfect. I don't think anyone's claiming he's the best left back in the league or one of the best in the league or anything like that. But ultimately, I feel like when you're playing someone in there, because at the time we had to actually play him there because Zinchenko was injured, Kivior didn't suit being in there, kind of Fury is injured, McTierney was still injured at the first half of the season, so we kind of had to just play him there, and he actually played pretty well. There was a period of time where he was making a few mistakes, where he was getting caught out. Obviously, the penalty that he conceded against Everton, I didn't think it was a penalty. I think it was a little bit unlucky that he got sent off against Wolves. That was not sending off. He then got sent off for real against West Ham, which, again, he got caught out of possession by Kudus. But yeah, apart from them, and I don't think he played well against PSG in the second leg. I thought he was, he wasn't very good. But in the second leg against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, he was excellent. And in the first game as well, he was excellent. So yeah, he had good and bad performances, but that's expected for an 18-year-old because, again, they're 18. They're going to be somewhat inconsistent because, again, they're still young. People forget he's actually only 18. And he was 17 last year, which is crazy to play for a club like Arsenal out of position. When you're a midfielder. So, yeah, I'm not going to be too harsh on him, if I'm being honest, man. I'm expecting him to make mistakes, especially at left back position. For me, I just want a different kind of variation of a left back. I would have loved to get Kieran Tierney if he was an injury prone and wanting to obviously stay at the club, because he's just a natural left back and he's a very good defensively and was decent going forward. But yeah, I feel like we need that kind of type if we're going to get another left back. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Big up good Guna Codes. Remember people saying he's better than Calafiori at left back. LOL, so dramatic. This is going to go. If you want to win the league, an 18-year-old shouldn't be your first choice. Get rid of Calafiori, get Robertson from Fulham. MLS is cover. Says RSL76. For me, bro, I wouldn't even get rid of Calafiori, bro. I would move him over. I think I agree with that, but I would move him over. I'd make him backup cover for Gabriel and make him obviously play there, because I feel like there's something about Calafiori defensively in that left back situation. I think he is suspect. I can't lie. He does get caught a little bit, but you can tell he's not comfortable playing out there. Similar to when Kivio was out there defending in those kind of wide channels and that. But I think going forward, he does provide a bit of chaos, a bit of dynamism. And some of the obviously good moments we've had on that left-hand side has come from him. But obviously, he's been injured quite a lot. So I don't know, man. I think going forward, he can offer something. And I think in pre-season, when I seen him at centre-back, he was much more comfortable defensively as well. So I feel like we're kind of playing him out of position. But we'll see if he does that. But yeah, I'm not opposed to that, man. I think sell Zinchenko, maybe potentially sell Kivior, use Calafiori as the backup centre-back, and maybe get another kind of defender that can play left back and centre back, left sided centre back, someone that's like kind of a hybrid to cover for sure. Calafiori is the model for selling merch, not a footballer or what. Nah, that's a bit harsh, man. Nah, he's all right, man. He's all right. Yeah, I'm not obviously with the whole Wild Prince and all that stuff. That's kind of crazy, man, to be fair. That's kind of crazy, man. But yeah, for me, my kind of issue with him is him staying fit, man, because we need players that are reliable. And the whole season he was kind of injured, bro, for a period of time. So yeah, he needs to obviously work on his fitness for sure if he's going to be at a top club like Arsenal, man. But we'll see, man. We'll see how he does on. Well, big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Obviously, onto the news that broke yesterday, man. Kai Havertz being assessed over a knee problem. Kai Havertz picked up a knee injury. The news comes this week before Arsenal travel to the Premier League champions Liverpool in a huge encounter. Obviously, before then we got Leeds. And that's the guy there. Kai Havertz is currently being assessed for over a knee injury. Now, at the time when it was announced that he had a knee injury, the fact that David Ornstein put Arsenal, again, we now know who they were going after, but David Ornstein at the time did put that Arsenal were going to go back into the market for a player. So when I seen that, man, I just thought, you know what? This injury might be very, very severe. Like, very severe, for the simple fact that this is Arsenal, bro. We've had injuries. Even in the last January, we had injuries and we didn't buy anyone. So, yeah, this is kind of tweet there. It says Arsenal forward and Kai Havertz set for a spell out with a knee injury. Assessments on the 26-year-old German international at the early stage. So the prognosis, but duration unclear. But Arsenal actively exploring the transfer market for signing to strengthen attack and provide cover. So, yeah, like I was saying, man, I feel like potentially this could be a thing where Arsenal we're looking at him thinking he could be out for a while, man. I was thinking ACL, MCL, etc. Team News and Ticks, who's normally kind of an in and know with Arsenal news, came out and said that he doesn't think he's potentially ACL, which is obviously good. But yeah, regardless, with any kind of knee injuries, you're probably looking at multiple weeks in it, 4, 5, 6 weeks, depending on the severity of the injury. And also, it's one of those ones where if you rush them back too quick, they can just reoccur the injury and make it worse, in it. So you have to take your time with it. So we'll have to wait and see what the diagnosis is long term. But yeah, obviously, it just goes on to say Havertz only just returned from a long-term hamstring injury, which kept him out from between February and May. The club are assessing the situation and waiting for the injury to settle before further analysis. Just days ago, the topic was obviously which striker would start against Liverpool, Havertz or Gyökeres. Obviously, Jamie Carragher said that he didn't see, this is before the injury, obviously, he didn't see Havertz being left out of these big games for very long. And potentially, we might actually see having Havertz in those big games for the simple fact that, one, we're normally very good in them anyway before Gyökeres came to the club. And two, maybe in terms of what our tactics, in terms of these games, it might provide Havertz to be sitting in a bit deeper, being a bit more defensively solid, and then bringing on Gyökeres when teams are maybe going for the game or it's 0-0 or it's kind of tight. And then you've got that spacing behind when players get tired. That actually might be the better game plan, if I'm being honest, in the bigger games. In the smaller games, you have to start Gyökeres in every game, in my opinion, because, again, these are the games that we actually struggle in because we haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer finisher to put away at Bournemouth, to put away at Fulham, to put away at West Ham. We're missing quite a lot of chances. So, yeah, for me, potentially, that could be the way forward for sure. Big old Joseph said, with sending these players, it's hard because it's so late in the window, only a week and a half left to go. 100% agree with you, bro. 100% agree with you. It is very, very difficult to sell kind of a lot of these players, if we're being honest, man, because you're looking at it thinking, these kind of players are not really very highly rated by Arsenal in itself, and then these kind of teams kind of want to lowball. They kind of wanted to say, you know what, just give us on loan. We don't really want to sign him. We don't want to really invest money into him. Just give him on loan and then just go from there. Where I feel like we need to try and get some money for these players, man, for sure. People forget we still got Jesus on the books. Now we got Havertz on the books. They're the two highest earners, both injured with knee injuries. So that's a lot of wages just sitting there. None like we're not using them at all because they're injured. So yeah, it's kind of a strange one, really, man. Kind of a strange one. We'll definitely have to reassess how we go going forward when it comes to kind of these players, because again, very, very interesting, man. Obviously, just going through the kind of news here. Obviously, David Ornstein said Nottingham Forest reached an agreement with Juventus to sign Douglas Luiz. So yeah, this was the player we were actually linked with when Edu was obviously sporting director, and there's no coincidence. Edu is now chief staff or whatever he is at Nottingham Forest, and they're going to sign Douglas Luiz. Deal for the 27-year-old midfielder. I always thought he was older than that for some reason. Loan with obviously by mechanics for Nottingham Forest at 30 million euro loan deal, obligation based on games played if option if a Brazilian international fell short of required appearances. So yeah, I thought he was a good player at Villa. I don't know the problem you have certain players, and it's going to be interesting to see how Paulinho does as well. Certain players leave the division and go to somewhere else and then come back and just not the same in it. So we'll have to wait and see if he's at the same level he was. But another good signing for Forest, and big them up. You know, they're actually preparing very well for that Europa League campaign. I feel like they do realize Thursday, Sunday is difficult. You need a higher squad, man. You need more bodies in there, and they actually got. Remember, they got McAtee, they've got kept Gibbs White. They're going to get obviously Douglas Luiz, so they're trying to beef up that midfield obviously area as well. So yeah, fair play. I think that's a good signing. Obviously, more news about Rico Lewis, close to an agreement over a new contract, existing deal 2028, talks over extension to 2030 with a 1-year option, no release clause. Obviously, Nottingham Forest pursued signing, but 20-year-old poised to stay. Yeah, he's definitely going to want to stay at Manchester City. That's where he's from. Yeah, I was going to get into this. Let me get into this now as well, man. Before I do that, obviously, just talking about the exclusive there. Obviously, always love to see that. Always love to see that for sure. Man said, are you high? I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Not always on about the Calafiori thing. No, I think he's just kind of saying that's what people were saying. No, obviously that's not that he was saying that, bro. Bill Chris Forrest always do sensible business. Lewis is a hell of a signing for me. Yeah, I think it's a good signing. I think if he can do even half of what he did at Villa, because at one period of time, obviously, remember Arsenal were linked with him. I don't know if you guys remember that kind of deadline day mess. What year was it? I'm trying to think what year it was. Was it the year we got Declan Rice? I don't think so. It wasn't. Was it that year? It might have been the year before, man. I can't remember, man. Yeah, it was the year before. It's when we got Zinchenko, Jesus. We tried to get him as well. Because we hadn't bought Jorginho then. He bought him in that January. So yeah, we tried to get him on the last day, and yeah, we didn't want to pay the money. I think at the time they wanted like 40 mil, 45 mil. We didn't want to pay it. So yeah, interesting, man. But yeah, I feel like he's a good player. And at that period of time, he was considered one of the best kind of box-to-box / DMs in the league at that period of time, for sure. I remember. So yeah, going to be a very good deal. Obviously, that's exclusive by David Ornstein about the deal. Bro, look how rapid it moved. 14 hours ago, then 12 hours ago, Arsenal reached an agreement in principle with Crystal Palace to sign as a deal worth around £68 million release clause, matching what Spurs were ready to pay. See, I said that's interesting. He says that's matching what Spurs are willing to pay, because again, the kind of reports were saying it was going to be 55 plus 5, but maybe not then. Personal terms close, and 27-year-old plays for Crystal Palace on Thursday for Arsenal Medical. Look at this deal here. Asensio joining the Blue Co, which is obviously Chelsea and Strasbourg together. Very interesting how this is going to pan out. Bro, I always think, because this is what makes me think, and again, sometimes with Saka, I mean, even with Palmer, for example, as well, when you see a player play year in, year out, you always kind of feel like they're older than they are. You forget, obviously, Saka's still, 23, is he? Palmer's, 23? This guy's 21. I've seen him play for like 3 years. So, obviously, he was playing when he was 18, 19, so he's only still 21. He's going to Strasbourg, and then he's going to be, obviously, bought by Chelsea. I think they're joint, so I don't know how that's going to work. But, yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he's a player that definitely needs more regular game time, so we'll have to see how he gets on. Big up Chris. He says we could have signed Luiz that time, but we decided to sign. Oh yeah, he signed Arthur Miller, bro. We were linked with him. We were going to sign him, and then we pulled out. I feel like he failed. I think he failed a medical or something like that. I remember we were linked with him heavy. I think it was the year before you signed him. We were linked with him heavy. I can't remember if Fabrizio was saying it. I can't remember who was saying it, but we were linked with heavy, and then we just kind of went against the deal and signed him. But yeah, he was, bro, I forgot about him, man. He was terrible. But yeah, obviously, Eze agrees personal terms with Arsenal ahead of completing the move from Crystal Palace. Deal in principle already struck for the 20. I can't believe we're signing him, bro. But this time, look how it was. My energy was this time yesterday. I was like, we're not signing no players. We're not getting Rodrigo. Eze's going to Spurs. I was conceded. That was it. Do you know what I'm saying? And this transfer win, this is what I'm saying, bro. It only takes one tweet. And people said it, and it's true. It only takes one bomber, one tweet out of nowhere. If Ornstein comes out and says that Baleba to Man United is looking close or advancing, Man United fans are going to lose their head. Same with if he said about Isak to Liverpool. Same if he said linking Chelsea to another player as well, or Rodrigo. Man City to Rodrigo. Like, it literally just takes one. And then when the transfer windows open, you just never know, man. You just never know. So it's kind of crazy, man. Big up Chris. He says it's gone from a lot of wingers to a lot of 10s for Chelsea. Yeah, I know, man. I mean, they're trying to get rid of Nkuku and obviously some other 10s as well before they can sign. Obviously, Javi Simmons is another one. I feel like that's going to be last week of the window because they need to obviously agree a fee for Nkuku and then getting in potentially Garnacho. The Garnacho one's a bit strange to me personally because I feel like, and Carlos has said it before, I feel like he's on the same level of all the other wingers that they've got. Like, he's not obviously a world class. He's like potential still. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like they've got Gittins who's potential. They've got all the kind of wingers that are a bit like Esteval's who's potential. Like, so yeah, it's kind of in the same bracket. So I don't know if he's actually needed, if I'm being honest. But with Modric, obviously, probably not going to play football again. They didn't obviously renew Sancho. Maybe he is, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video and subscribe to the channel. See if we can get it to 20 likes, people. Make sure you do it. Big up Liam says, still need a left winger. Both to sign, but good to sign Eze. Yeah, bro, I'm gas, man. I agree. Obviously, listen, we'll have to wait and see. I feel like, and this is kind of the position I definitely wanted Arsenal to be in when it's like, we've signed all these players. Remember, we would have signed Eze with no sales, no major sales. Jesus still here, Zinchenko's still here, Kyrgios, everyone's still here. So, and this is what was my ideal scenario: sign 7 players and then sell who you need to sell, and then potentially go for a Rodrigo, go for another left winger at the end of the kind of the window in it, and go from there. So we will see, brother. But yeah, that would definitely complete it. There'll be no excuses. We would have had backup to cover. We've got obviously number 10 cover with Odegaard and Eze integrating. We've got Eze, who can play on the left as well, and he can play in the 8, which I think is key, considering if we have games like Burnley or these kind of games where we're expected to have loads of possession, to bring him in and drop him in midfield, even if positionally he's out on the left, he can obviously come into midfield and Calafiori can go up top in terms of positional wise. Bro, he's going to be key to break down low blocks for sure, man. But pick yourself up every single time. But good. Big up Chris says, before Spurs were after Eze, I said it was Eze or nothing for Arsenal for the remaining days of the window. So once you sign Eze, your window is done, in my opinion. Yeah, you did say that, to be fair. You did say that, to be fair, Chris. But even so, that would still be, for me, a very good window because, again, you've still got your number 1 key striker that, again, everyone's expected to score goals. You've now got Eze, who can be a massive, massive handful in terms of playing in the 10, playing in the 8, potentially going out wide, but drifting inside like an inside forward, but keeping that width with Calafiori or whoever's overlapping on the left-hand side. I feel like potentially you got a lot of avenues. And also, it pushes the likes of Odegaard, which I think is key. Because, again, if Odegaard can get back to his best, it's definitely good. Big up Don, man, in the building, man. Good to see you in here, brother. Hopefully you are well. Good to see you, obviously, in the chat, as always. Morning, all. So happy to have Eze in. Yes. Obviously, we did discuss it a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when the last time I was on, obviously, Josh's channel. Big up Josh every single time. He says, I've wanted him for 2 years. Ideally, I would have brought in an out-and-out left winger, but I think it's unlikely unless it's a loan for Rodrigo, unless players go. Yes, I was going to ask you, Don, bro, what's your kind of feeling in terms of this kind of loan with an obligation? Is this something realistic? I know we've seen something similar, not quite the same with Odegaard. That was more like a dry loan, but obviously that kind of reignited the interest the following season to the point where we got him for £30 million. So maybe that's something that's kind of similar. But again, a loan with an obligation, is that something Real Madrid would be happy for? It does seem they want to get rid of him. I mean, this is the 7th game he was on the bench. He was an unused substitution in the first La Liga game. That's kind of insinuating that they don't really depend on him. And again, the game was very tight. It was 1-0, so it wasn't like it was 4-5-0 and they're trying to give other players a chance. They could have really done with another goal and maybe someone that could provide it, which obviously he definitely can. So the fact that he wasn't picked means they don't really have him in his plans. They're trying to politely usher him out the door to try and get some money in for him at this moment in time. So yeah, a loan with an option. Is that something that's doable? Do you think that can happen? You'll have to let me know in the chat for sure, bro. But big yourself up. I can see another defender coming in as well. I think Kibio will leave this summer. Very, very, yeah, very. See, this is what I was saying, Dom, as well, bro. Like, I think, especially with Zinchenko, because I don't know, man. I just feel like he's going to leave, but maybe it's going to be a loan or something. I don't know. It just feels like that one's kind of dragging more than it probably I thought it would do. I know he's on big wages, but he has been linked with a few different clubs, but it just seems like teams don't want to take the whole full plunge. Like Porto were linked with him, Fenerbahce has obviously been linked with him. There's been other few clubs as well. So yeah, but yeah, I agree. I think potentially you're probably seeing a defender coming in to cover Kivior, especially if you sell Kivior and Zinchenko. I just can't see a world where we get rid of those two and there's just no backup for either of them. Which means that would be another signing. Bro, again, I said before, I don't know if, Dom, you've seen more, but this is probably the most I've seen Arsenal buy in terms of player-wise. 7 in one window. I don't think I've seen more than that, in my opinion, man. But yeah, big up yourself. Big up Dom says, I'd be happy if we did it and that Real Madrid have done it before. I wonder if it would be an option to buy in case, in case Alonso doesn't work out Real Madrid and a new manager wants him. Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true as well. I mean, I feel like for that to happen, I think Rodrigo has to push that he wants to get first team football. Because again, at the minute, it feels like he's very comfortable, but I feel like they're politely trying to say, you know what, we don't really need you in this kind of realm of obviously Real Madrid. We kind of want to move you on politely, but I get what they're doing. They don't want to tank his value. They don't want to say he's up for sale, etc. Like outlay, like he's got no place at the club anymore. He's been ostracized like publicly because then teams like Arsenal, teams like Real Madrid say, well, you don't want him there. We'll give you 60 mil for him. You're not getting 90 or whatever. But I reckon they might, like I said, the loan thing is very interesting. Obviously, like I said, they've done it before, even loaning players out to us. Sabias is another one they loaned to us as well as Odegaard. So they are willing to, man. And obviously, these were players that weren't in the kind of starting lineup or in the kind of the squad being used. And Rodrigo is kind of slotting into that kind of category of not really being relied upon. Because then that's obviously, like I said, the 7th game, he's been on the bench. So we will see, man. But yeah, I feel like potentially Martinelli might be sold. I don't know if you've seen the reports by Indy Calliodom about potentially Martinelli being sold to Saudi. I don't know how legit Indy Callier is. Obviously, he did get the props from David Ornstein for the Baleba kind of bomber, but other than that, I don't know if he's actually legit for the any kind of news. But that kind of broke yesterday. So I don't know, man. I think potentially. Obviously, this was the news by Indy Callier. Saudi Arabia clubs are circling around Gabriel Martinelli. One club ready to pay 80 million for his services. The option is there for Arsenal to decide to cash in. I don't know how legit that is, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. Maybe if that's true, man, you've got to cash in. Like, I'm sorry, Martinelli. Fair play to him, but I feel like that would be the right time to sell him. And for that amount of money, even if it's like 60, even if it's like 50, if you can get over 45, 50 for him, I feel like you would have had a solid. Because again, you're getting a lot of wages off the bill. And like I said to, I think, Dom as well, you're getting into that period of time where you're going to have to decide. I think like at the end of the season, you'll only have 2 years left. You're going to have to decide if you want to sign this guy on. He's already on 180 grand a week. Do you really want to give him a pay rise on tour? Do you think he deserves a pay rise? Not in a way where it's like no one deserves money. I'm just talking about performance-wise. Normally, you get a pay rise in football when you are enhance your kind of reputation or your performance levels through that period of time when you got the initial contract rise. That's why you got the rise in the first place. Because again, you got 15 Premier League goals. He was a very, very key member of the squad. But now his kind of squad level in terms of importance and kind of productivity has definitely diminished since he got that contract. Can I see Arsenal giving him 200, 220, 230 to keep him? I don't think so, you know. I can't lie. I don't think they're going to do that. I feel like they even know themselves performances have been very, very low in terms of what we're used to seeing or what we're expecting of him. That's why I trust our play so much last year, because Martinelli's performances weren't up to scratch. So going to be very interesting to see how that pans out for sure. But yeah, big up Chris. He says yesterday proper kits off as they hijacked, well also hijacked it back. Cat Weasel, Jake Paul fighting Roger Davis in exposition, which Davis will let. Yeah, obviously anything with Jake Paul, listen, they're letting him win, bro. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, that's why he takes the fights in it, because he's won every single one. So yeah, big up Darby says this window would have been massive, and I think 7 is our previous record. Yeah, that might be true. I can't even remember if it is, man. It must be on the Arsene Wenger. I don't think Arteta's got more than 7. He got 6, like I said, in 2021, 2022. Ben White, Tamiyasu, Tavares, Lukonga, Ben White. Sorry, I already said Ben White. Ben White, Tomiyasu, Tavares, Lukonga, Odegaard, and Ramsdale was the 6 that we got in that summer. I can't even remember Arsene Wenger getting more than 4, you know, like 4 first teamers in one window, bro. I know who did we get? We got Lucas Perez, Mustafi, Xhaka, and someone else. We definitely got 4 that season. I can't remember who the other one was, but yeah, he didn't really used to get too many first teamers in one window for sure. But yeah, man, big up Dom says I always said this summer would be a big window for a lot of top teams, as last summer was very quiet for the top teams across Europe. Yeah, I do remember you saying that, bro, and that's why we're seeing so many top sides buying so many players. Listen, like I said, this has kind of been the most eventful transfer window I've seen in many years. Like you said, it's that thing where everyone's kind of strengthening their attack at the same time. You've seen Chelsea with changes, Liverpool trying to make changes. Man United have bought 3 attacking players. Man City have probably been the least kind of active. They've really, I mean, again, they bought Renders and Shirky, and so again, they bought 2 players in as well. Arsenal now with Madueke, with Gyökeres, with Eze, that's 3 attackers as well. Potentially another one if we sell someone else. That'll be 4 in one window, man. After years of not getting a striker, after years not getting a proper left 8, after years not getting a proper 10 to be rivaling to Odegaard or replacing him or whatever you want to call it, after years without backup to Saka, to get them all in one window, yeah, fair play. If we do it, fair play. You have to be fair and say, you know what, you've kind of addressed every situation, every position in the attacking front that I wanted. Whether you rate the players or not is a different discussion, but they've actually addressed it, which before was not. It was a no-go. Indiana Jones, I call him. Indiana Jones was doing well this window for our transfers, then back to normal when he said Isak, when he said second Isak big was made and we're still waiting. Yeah, what do you think is happening with that? I still feel like potentially you're still going to get him. But it's going to be there's no way you were going to sign him before you played them, by the way. No way in hell. That was not going to happen, man. They were not going to allow that to happen. So I feel like it was always going to drag. I just think it's dependent on if Newcastle can find an adequate replacement that they think is doable. Because again, like I said, getting Nicholas Jackson to replace him is bro, it's not cutting it, man. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect to Nicholas Jackson. I feel like he's a good player. I feel like he has been overhated in the last probably 5 or 6 weeks or 2 or 3 months. I still feel like he's a decent player. He's just not a finisher, man. He's someone that should be playing on like as a left-sided forward or a left winger, etc. But he does miss easy chances. But his overall game, I feel like, is decent for a Premier League player. But yeah, he's not going to replace Isak Scholes for sure. So for me, it's a tricky one, man. I think Ekitike would have been perfect, and obviously Liverpool already got him. Big up AFC always. Tops, big up just came in to hit the lights. I'm on holiday in Cyprus. Big up yourself. Has a Havertz assist for Eze. Big up yourself, bro. 100%, man. Yeah, the memes going around about Havertz, the greater good. I seen that someone made a statue, AI statue of Havertz on crutches, saying your contributions will not be forgotten, which I found hilarious. But hopefully Havertz is not out for too long, because again, we are going to need as much players as possible to rotate with and obviously contribute. And I feel like Havertz can definitely do that still. So, but yeah, man. Listen, big up Eze as well. Big up Darren says decent window, not massive. Says Darren. That's his opinion on the window. The original indie sold the account. It's now multiple people. Okay, this summer in terms of new Liverpool news, they've been good to be honest. Listen, even with the Arsenal news, man, in terms of like who we've been linked with and stuff like that, and made inquiries about, they have got a few ones right as well before it's even dropped. Do you know what I'm saying? So interesting, man, how that's worked out. Very interesting. So we'll have to wait and see if they are legit. Oh yes, laughing emoji. 7 was in 2022-23. 8 if you okay, Marquinhos, man. So I must be missing someone. 22 is okay. Fair enough. Big up yourself, bro, for letting me know. But yeah, it's crazy. Though technically that was one season, not one summer. In fairness, okay, I get you. Yeah, oh yeah, you're right, because we've got Trossard and Jorginho and Kivior, as well as obviously Zinchenko and Jesus and Fabio Vieira and obviously Marquinhos, and I'm missing someone. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, man. Yeah, Javante Davis, biggest waste of talent in boxing. Obviously, I knew he was about money, but I rated him as I thought, bro, what, is he retired now? Or is he just doing expedition matches? Because that kind of announcement, I seen it yesterday, kind of came out of nowhere. Like, okay, you find Jake Paul now. Like, what? Obviously, I know it's a big money grab. And again, I seen obviously the likes of Anthony Joshua was linked with him as well. So I don't know what's going on, man. But yeah. Big Dom, he says we also did 7 in 2010. Wow. Bro, gold star if you can name the 10 in 2000. Sorry, if you can name the 7 in 2010, because I ain't got a Scooby-Doo clue who we signed in 2010, man. I'm trying to think who would it be. Obviously, Javinho was like 2011. Who would we have signed in 2010, man? Denilson was already there. Oh my God, I honestly couldn't tell you. You know, those kind of Wenger summer years, they're just kind of merged into one. I'll more think about us selling players during that period of time. So selling kind of the likes of Adebayor and Van Persie and these guys, Fabregas, etc. Obviously in 2013 is obviously that's when we bought Arteta and Mertesacker and all those kind of guys, Andre Santos. So that must be up there. That must be 5 or 6 as well. But big yourself up, bro. Big up James Russell, love from Jamaica, brother. Big up yourself, bro. Good to see you in the building, man. Good to see you that you dropped a comment. Always appreciate the support and love in the community, man. Make sure you guys like the video if you've not already. Subscribe to the channel if you want to become a member. It's linked in the channel description. 99p support your boy Tops, man. T-Jump Sports. 99p to become a member. So yeah, big up yourself, everyone in the building. Of course, big up Chris. Says my feeling is Gahey gets signed at the end of this week and the official announcement next week. Then next week we put in the bid for Isaac after Liverpool, Newcastle. Bro, that drama is going to be one of the games of the season in terms of like the drama and obviously all the kind of the antics that goes into it. It's going to be messy. It's going to be mayhem, I think. The atmosphere, the raw. Don't be surprised if Liverpool drop points, man, just because of the actual emotion of the game, man. I feel like they're going to, if they come out and win that game, I feel like that's going to be massive credit to them because, again, you know what Newcastle's like anyway. Look how they were against, obviously, Liverpool in the final. Look how they were against Arsenal in the semi-final, especially at St. James's Park. It was like a cauldron. They really, and I knew when we played them, I had a feeling after they played us at the Emirates and they won, I was like, I think they're going to win it. I just feel like the fans are so like, we need to win this trophy that they care about it so much. They kind of just steered him in the right direction. And obviously, tactically, Eddie Howe did a masterclass. Obviously, not revealing his tactics a week before when they played Liverpool at Anfield. They lost 2-0. Isaac didn't play. And then obviously, it was a fresh new team for the cup final. Sacrificed the league game, basically, to win the cup, which is fair enough. Big up Darren says, big up, brother. 876 says, Darren, big up yourself, bro. Giovante's still boxing. He's still a world champion, but he was poor in his last fight. Got favored with the decision. Damn, that's obviously not good as well, man. It's not good at all. Big up Dom says Javinho was 1. So was Arteta, Per Mertesacker. Damn. Yeah, Jenkins, Chambers. Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. What? I mean, I say what a window, but I don't think it's for the good reasons, to be fair. I mean, there's that other window we had as well with was it with Sanchez, Welbeck? I think we got Rob Holding in that window as well. Like, so there has been a few. So yeah, man, crazy. Cat Weasel, Jake Paul is so smart and clever. I can't lie, he gets criticism for not fighting professional boxers, so he goes after Davis, which is still a disgrace. Paul is 200 pounds. Davis is 135. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, the Paul brothers know what they're doing in terms of marketing and stuff like that. Logan Paul is a master of it in terms of being able to connect in different kind of genres, whether it's wrestling, whether it's podcasting, whether it's obviously YouTube, whether it's Prime. Like, bro, they do their thing, to be fair. So I can't even really hate on it too tough. Big up Chris says Newcastle versus Liverpool has Everton versus Liverpool from last season feeling to it. 100%, bro. 100%. That game, you know what? Those 2 games, man, were 2 of my favorite games. Obviously, that's non-Arsenal that I watched, definitely. The Everton versus Liverpool one, the 2-2. And then the Aston Villa versus Liverpool one, which I think was 2-2 as well. There were the intensity, the atmosphere was sensational. That's what you need, man. And I feel like hopefully this season, we get some more high-intensity games, more high-pressure games, more kind of excitement games. Because I feel like last year, it was kind of a lot reserved. There was a lack of quality, in my opinion. There's no kind of coincidence that all of our kind of top teams are getting like reinforcements in the attack. Because I feel like there was a lack of kind of quality throughout those kind of Big Six games anyway. There wasn't really nice to watch, really. Even the games that Arsenal won. Like 1-0 at Spurs, 1-0 against Chelsea. Again, you take it because it's 1-0, you're winning, but instead of actual quality within the game, you can get 1-0s, which they're end-to-end and is fantastic quality. But I feel like last year it definitely was lacking a little bit, considering there's been years where you've had drama and these massive, fantastic games with these kind of big clubs. You didn't really get that last year. So hopefully we can have an improvement for sure, just from a neutral point of view as well. Big up RS. He says Newcastle couldn't score against Villa team that didn't turn up and had 10 men for a bit. I can't see them scoring, to be honest. Bro, I feel like it's different, man, especially at your home ground. The whole thing with Isaac, man, players and teams will, and I feel like, again, with Liverpool, you have to admit, defensively, you don't look the strongest at this current time. Not saying you can't improve. I think Ryan Birch might be back as well. Mistake me if I'm wrong. I think he might be back from his suspension. So that would be a massive upgrade and boost, obviously, on your defensive structure and your stability as well. But yeah, I feel like it is different. I get what you're saying, because they didn't play very well. But I do expect them to create more chances against you. Maybe because, again, you'll probably be a bit more open as well because you'll be going for the win too. So it might create a bit more space for Gordon running in behind, or whoever they've got up front, and Langer with pace as well. They'll probably play a bit more kind of a bit more rigid in terms of defending from the front, playing in transition. In the Villa game, I mean, they tried to do that, but I don't think it actually suited them when actually Villa went down to 10 men. I feel like the onus was on them to kind of break down Villa, and they just didn't have the creativity. They didn't have the nous. They didn't have that kind of star striker to make things happen in the box. I feel like potentially if it was down to 11, they might have had a better chance of winning the game, which is kind of strange to say. But yeah, obviously just in terms of tactically, Aston Villa just kind of shut up really and just kind of was happy with the point, really. After that, Newcastle forwards are all wingers at the minute, and the wingers do get in behind us. Yeah, this kind of thing. And I like you, obviously, like you're saying about Chris, about obviously boxing. Styles definitely make fights, man. And I feel like their style in terms of transition, kind of similar to the Crystal Palace style that obviously had a bit of joy against you, similar to the Bournemouth style that had a bit of joy against you. You're looking at, like you said, the wingers in terms of like Semenyo and stuff like that. I think obviously Mateta and Sarr had a good game against you, man, in the Community Shield too. And I feel like they've got similar kind of mold in terms of that electric, blistering kind of explosive pace with Alanga and the Gordon and stuff like that. So I feel like it just depends how they set up tactically. I feel like they're probably gonna go with a false nine, but they're probably gonna look to obviously set traps in terms of having players running behind, getting behind, stretch your defense, etc., cause problems that way, have a high intensity level too. But it should be a good game. Not say I can't really call it. I can see Liverpool win it. I can see Newcastle maybe getting like a 1-0 or something, man. You just don't know. You just don't know, man. So, but overall, whether you win it, I feel like it should be a good game. And with the added spice of Isak, because he's going to be the talk of the town throughout the entire promo of the game, really, isn't he? So, Newcastle fans are going to want to get one up on Liverpool. They're going to be raring to go loud. They're already chanting for Isak, saying he's greedy and stuff like that. So that's going to add to the atmosphere as well. And obviously, if Liverpool win, you know what they're going to say. They left because you're Alexander Isak. He left because you're. So you already know what's going to happen, bro. So yeah, we'll see. If Bo Scrub starts, then we definitely drop him in points. You Liverpool man don't rate him, innit? Man said we only conceded when Slot made those odd substitutions. But again, fullback wise, is Frimpong going to be back? Obviously, he did have that hamstring injury. Kirkez did look susceptible to obviously playing in behind as well. He got a rash yellow card, so he had to be taken off really before he got sent off. Point ender right back was a bit strange considering he had Gomez there as well. But again, maybe he doesn't trust Gomez's fitness. Do you know what I'm saying? In terms of even playing for a full 25, 30 minutes. I don't know. So obviously there's a reason that he did it. But yeah, maybe not, man. Hopefully not a repeat of the defending set pieces like in the cup final. Yeah, true. Dan Burns there as well, which obviously scored from the header. So yeah, man, I feel like it is going to be a difficult game for Liverpool. And it'll be a difficult game for Newcastle. Obviously, Liverpool got fantastic attacking players. 1-0, LOL. You think their defense can stop us from scoring? I mean, listen, you've got a fantastic attack for sure. But listen, Newcastle defensively are very good, especially when it comes to a low block. They're very hard to break down, man, for sure. Even when you look at the cup final, obviously you guys only scored in the last minute when they were probably getting a little bit tired. Other than that, they locked it off. Again, you've added Nketiah to that, true. But yeah, man, it's definitely not against the realm of possibility for sure. I feel like potentially it could be a low-scoring game anyway, either side, whether Liverpool win or Newcastle win, because I don't think Newcastle don't really get slapped like that, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think the last time they've been beat 3-4, and they don't really get beat like that. If they lose by the odd goal or whatever. So defensively, Eddie Howe does have them structured up pretty well. So I reckon it'll be tight either way, if I'm being honest. Big up Chris said, I think we edged Newcastle out, in my opinion. I'm saying 2-1 to us, but won't be shocked if it's a draw. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I reckon Liverpool will win. But yeah, I'm pretty much agreeing with you. I can see it being a draw as well, to be fair. If I'm being honest, man. But we'll see. I feel like the atmosphere will play a major factor in it for sure. But yeah, speaking of Newcastle, let's quickly go into this before we wrap up. Brentford reject a new £40 million Newcastle bid for Wissa. Brentford have turned down Newcastle's improved £40 million striker bid for Wissa. Now, I'm surprised, man. I thought this potentially would have been enough for them to obviously get the deal over the line. I think 40 is probably a fair result. But again, thinking about that, they're probably thinking, well, we just sold Mbeumo for 71. Mbeumo got literally one more league goal. And obviously, I don't think Wissa took penalties either. So non-penalty goals, Wissa got literally 19, I believe. And I think Mbeumo got a few penalties in there. So Yeah, crazy. So maybe they're thinking they're being short change, but I think 40 is a decent amount, man, if I'm being honest. But yeah, the Magpies were proposing, and I think he's only got 1 year left as well. So they're obviously proposing 35 initial fee plus 5 million in add-ons. Newcastle reopened talks with Brentford on Wednesday, but sources told BBC Sport that this latest bid fell through, with the Bees' valuation of Wissa. It is understood Wissa held talks with Brentford's owner, Matthew, on Tuesday, and development that prompted discussions. The Magpies previously bid for the 28-year-old was worth up to £30 million. Earlier this week, Wissa removed all association with Brentford from his Instagram as he looks for a fresh start in this new fresh twist. Obviously, he flew home early from pre-seasons, not trained with the team, not turned up for training, and also didn't play at all. Wissa believed that Brentford will sanction his transfer north once they signed his replacement. Obviously, they've signed the replacement, Atara, from BOMBA, 42 or 43 million pounds, man. So a lot of money for Atara as well. It's crazy, man. If Isak was still at Newcastle, then I say we drop points. Yeah, for sure. I think he's done you a favor in terms of like making sure he doesn't influence the impact of your game as well, man. Is Wizard enough to? No, bro. I'm saying it now. Like, and this is kind of, I'm pretty confident that like Isak's going to join Liverpool. But the one thing that's stopping me from saying he's definitely going to go is the replacement, because there's no way they're just going to replace. Because they need to, because you got to think as well, Chris. They've lost Callum Wilson, whether he's injury prone or not. He was a striker at the club, so they need to replace him as a body. So I feel like Whistle was that replacement, and then an Ikatike or Isak staying would have been their kind of two strike force. Because remember, they're in the Champions League too, so you're gonna need two strikers, man. You're in Europe, so and you're in the Champions League as well, so you need decent ones. I don't think if they just get Wissa. And it's looking like they might not even get Wissa now. I don't think that's going to be enough for them to release him. Bro, I feel like it could get messy, man. It could be a thing where Isak has to be reintegrated into the team, kind of thing. If they don't get a proper replacement, this is why I feel like potentially they might. You get Ikatike might have actually stopped you from getting Isak. Maybe, I don't know, because you're looking at the kind of the quality plays they could get to replace Isak. It's few and far between now, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm glad Arsenal, and obviously other teams are probably glad they kind of got into the transfer market in terms of striker-wise earlier than obviously normal, because, bro, once you get to the bare bones now, you're looking at your Nicholas Jacksons, you're looking at your Ollie Watkins, you're looking at these kind of players to kind of come in and replace said player, man. I don't think Ollie Watkins is going to leave Villa now, because, again, they're going to have to replace him themselves. So who are they going to replace him with? Do you know what I mean? So you get to that point where players or teams don't want to sell their kind of star strikers now, because it's going to be hassle for them to replace them themselves. But yeah, just go on to your point, bro. So is Wissa enough to replace Isak? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Wissa to me is more of a left winger, in my opinion. I feel like he's more of like a wide forward, second striker, not more so that leads the line really. Again, he kind of thrived in those kind of double kind of partnerships, whether it was with Ivan Toney or with Mbuemo, those kind of two strikers up front. Maybe you could play that, but again, with Newcastle, you need two strikers. If Isak's going to be leaving, you're going to need to replace him and get Wissa in as well. So, but yeah, I know he's played striker, but he's not at Brentford. This is Newcastle potentially taking the pressure, being the main man. Yeah, I don't know if he's not really a hold-up man, is he? He's more kind of like a guy that can run in behind, more that someone that can, like I said, he's more, if you played him not up front, you can see him playing him on the left, like you said, or on the right, kind of in that kind of Mo Salah role in terms of like a wide forward, someone that's a striker but playing out wide rather than back to goal kind of thing. So yeah, I agree with that, man. But yeah, got to be very interesting to see what he comes up with, man, as well. I agree that only strike is a loser. Yeah, again, he's a youngster as well, man. He's not someone that you can play in the Champions League and Prem on a regular basis. That's why he was on the bench. That's why they play with false nine, because, again, they want to go with probably seasoned veterans that know how to play for Newcastle in the Premier League on a regular basis. Watkins to Newcastle don't see happening as their rivals for European players. True as well. And yeah, like I said, Newcastle, and Aston Villa would have to replace him with someone. And it's going to be someone decent, because whatever you want to say about Watkins, he's going to get you 10 to 15 goals at least minimum. Yeah, I mean, looking at his record, he normally gets 15 at the lowest kind of point at minimum. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you're going to replace his goals, bro, you have to come correct for sure. Raul Jimenez, okay, it's not Isak, but he's better than options. Bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, our Newcastle fans going to be happy with that, man. Our Newcastle fans going to be happy with João Jimenez, with Muniz, with Strad Larson. I've seen them linked with, man. It's just getting, bro. It's again, these are decent Premier League players. I'm not saying that, but you're literally replacing Isak, one of the best strikers in Europe, And you want to get, even if you can't get the best striker in Europe, you want to get someone that potentially could be. This is why I feel like Ikitike was perfect. This is why I feel like Sesko was perfect. Those players in those kind of mold with a load of potential. The link with Samu from Porto, which again, potentially he could be one of the best strikers as well. He's only 20, 21. He scored a lot of goals in Portugal. So I don't know. That's maybe one you could look to and think, you know what, maybe take a punt on him if he's willing to come. But the options are scarce. Let's say that. Big RS, he says Villa want Jackson. I did see that. So maybe it's a domino effect, Chris, man. Maybe it is a thing where where Newcastle buy Watkins and then Villa use that money for Watkins to get Jackson and pay him 65, 70 million and then sell Watkins for 60 after they get the money from Isaac. Maybe it's that. Would Newcastle fans be happy with Watkins and Wissa? I mean, to be fair, it's not bad. I mean, that's probably the best they're going to get, if I'm being honest, man. With the players available, Watkins is a Premier League proven striker. Wissa's going to score goals as well. Watkins is playing in the Champions League and scored. Wissa obviously has played in the Prem and scored as well on a regular basis. So in the scenario, that's probably the best. The only problem with that is obviously Watkins is like nearly 30. So how much years are you going to get out of him? 2, maybe 3. Then you have to replace him. That's not ideal. So yeah, man, it's definitely up in the air for sure. Big up, Chris says, unless Newcastle going to play with 2 wingers up front. Yeah, man, I don't think that's something that they probably want to do, if I'm being honest. I do feel like they've been used to getting that kind of hold-up man with Isaac playing the last 3 years, playing a pivotal role and a good role as well, by the way, holding up the ball, doing what he needs to do, bringing players into play, etc. I think when you kind of lose that essence of that, it kind of gets a bit sticky, a bit messy, man, for sure. But yeah, all mad. Big RSL76. In fact, that's probably one of the reasons he wants out. He was probably said the dream of buying them top players when he moved. But look at the business since he's been there. Yeah, true. I feel like, again, it's a lot of things. I mean, there was obviously reports coming out saying that potentially he was offered a new contract by one of the kind of executives there, which they kind of went back on in terms of paying him 250, what he needed to obviously get paid for him to be an official top level player. I think that's obviously that kind of has kind of messed up the relationship with them and Newcastle. And yeah, again, what they've done in the window, getting rejected by all these players, has not helped either. Because, bro, Newcastle were never going to keep hold of this guy for 5, 10, 6 years, 10 years. I don't think that was ever going to be the case. I feel like it was always going to be a period of time where he wanted to leave to go to a big club, whether it's someone in the Premier League or a Barca or a Bayern or someone like that. So I agree, man. I just think the whole thing's just a mess, really. The whole thing's a mess. I think the Ekitike thing's kind of messed everything up. I think before then, I think if Newcastle would have got Ekitike, I think they probably would have been more willing to open talks with Liverpool for Isaac, because they've already got their kind of replacement already in. And then if Liverpool would have offered the 150, which they probably could have, because they would have not have bought Ekitike for 80, then I think that would have been kind of the swap move to do. And it's not really worked out like that. Big up big up foot. Can't even talk. Big up football locker room banter, man. Big up yourself, brother. Hope you are well. Eze coming home. Big up yourself, man. Hope you are good, my brother. Good to see you in the building, man. Make sure you like the video if you've not already, my guy. But yeah, Eze is coming home, coming to Arsenal. Like I said, it feels like a mad dream, bro. I can't lie, because the quickness of the deal, the fact that we weren't even linked with him, the fact that it looked like he was going to Spurs. Literally this time yesterday, people at Spurs were saying, Eze is coming to Spurs. We can't wait to get the number 7 shirt. I think they're going to get him. Like they were gas, etc. To this time this morning, bro, we've got Eze medical booked in for Friday. I'm hearing what? What? Let me see what Ben Jacobs said, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video if you've not already, man, and subscribe to the channel as always, my brother. But yeah, crazy, crazy, man. But yeah. Ben Jacobs has he literally just poured it an hour ago. And he's been on it, to be fair. He was the first one really I seen in terms of mainstream journalists to kind of talk about Eze being linked with Arsenal. It says Eberechi Eze expects to undergo his Arsenal medical on Friday ahead of his £60 million plus add-ons transfer to Arsenal. Set to be in the Palace squad first for the tonight's obviously conference game before finalising the move. So yeah, medical book for tomorrow, bro. Medical book for tomorrow. That's gone rapid, man. So potentially he could be in the squad for the Liverpool game, man, which again is kind of an added kind of bonus because I didn't think that would be possible. Getting a fresh player in for that. So yeah, man, all gas about it for sure. They're gonna give contracts to other players. after telling him he couldn't have one due to PSR. It's not just Ikitike, Delap, Mbuemo, Sesko. Bro, man, listen to the whole thing. That's crazy. Pedro, Ramos, Samu, they can't get anyone. Their backroom staff for a joke. Eddie's nephew are doing most of it. They aren't acting like a professional club. Yeah, I agree with all that, bro. I agree. Like, they definitely have let the fans down, especially because they had such a good season last year. Won a cup for the first time in 70 years. Got into the Champions League, second time in 3 years. Fantastic season, man. Fantastic season. They're in the Champions League and they've won a trophy. So why, yeah, the fact they've not capitalized on that is crazy. Not to say they can't or they haven't tried, but yeah, I just feel like the people that are put in place to do those kind of deals are not competent enough or don't have the experience. It's like when Arsenal tried to get Jason Auto, who had never been in that director of football or that sporting director role before in his life. And again, there's no surprise we didn't sign anyone because he didn't really know what he's doing. That's the thing. There is levels to it. Just like there's levels to being a manager and player, there is levels to being a sport director, someone that handles business, someone that can negotiate with other clubs. And I feel like, again, people that don't like to be bullied or like to be forced to get into certain situations and obviously monies and stuff like that, always end up on top, man, for sure. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a mad one for sure, man. But big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe. That's going to be it for today, man. Big up everyone that's already tuned in. I'll be back tomorrow for another Tops in the Morning show. It's been a sick show, as of always. So, yeah, man. Man, I listen. Like I said, it's been good, man. It's been very good. It's been very, very good, bro. Like, again, I'm actually too gassed about this signing, bro. I feel like to bring him back, a player of his quality, it takes a lot of pressure off Saka as well because people are going to be looking at Eze now to be like, you know what, it's your time to step up, kind of thing. No one's really got that kind of Manawaki kind of vibe within him, to be fair. In terms of relying on him to obviously do something productive. I feel like people do see him as a backup. And now he can actually be used as a backup now, considering you've got Eze there. So, oh, man. Mad. Absolute madness, man. Absolute madness, man. But big up everyone, obviously, that's obviously tuned into the channel. Really appreciate it, of course, as always. But, yeah, the bomber was bombering for sure. The bomber was bombering, man. Oh my days. But yeah, man. But yeah, big up everyone in the building. I'm gonna head off now. Make sure you guys like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow, man. They should have took Nunes when they had the chance at LOL. Maybe they should have, bro. Maybe they actually should have, because again, that probably would have been a good signing for them for sure. But yeah, big up everyone that's already been in the building. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't hate to play at the game. Until next time, people, I am out. Last question. Are you worried about Saka? He looks washed. I think injuries might caught up with him. You know what, bro? I feel like, again, with Saka, there's always going to be a period, and we've seen it before with players. There's always a period where when they come back from injury, they don't look their best because they have to get back to their normal self in terms of playing the X amount of games and obviously getting used to kind of their new kind of body in terms of he probably has lost a bit of explosiveness now because, again, it's a hamstring injury. It's a hamstring tear. He's going to have to try and adapt his game a little bit. We've seen it with likes of Michael Owen and other kind of players. They've had to adapt their game, be a bit more smarter because they can't rely on their kind of natural raw pace or ability or strength. So I feel like you're going through that period now where he has to kind of do that. And I think tactically, Arteta needs to help him too in terms of what he can do. I think potentially, bro, and we've seen a glimpse of it with the chance he created for Manawaki. I think putting him on the left might give him a bit more dynamism and a new dynamic. And that sounds crazy considering we're supposed to buy Manawaki on the left and stuff like that. But with Manawaki, who's now on the right, I think, bro, play him on the left, see what he can do there. I think potentially it might be a little bit better for him because, again, he can then go left and right because he can go on the outside. He doesn't really like going on the outside for Arsenal, really. And when he does, the ball with his right foot is not normally of a level or of a standard that can really hurt opposition teams. Whereas on the left-hand side, you can go on the left on his left foot and obviously cut in and obviously play 1-2s with his right foot and then shoot with his left in the arrow, in that angle, sorry. So, but yeah, that's definitely one thing we're going to look out for. But yeah, for me, bro, I feel like potentially this might be a season where he's not at his best for the entire season. But I think potentially it's probably more important to kind of rest him a bit more. I think you got to rotate him a bit more. I think this season, for me, even though we kind of need him, I think maybe long term he takes more of a back seat in terms of we don't play him in every single game like we have done before. We don't start him in every single big game like we have done before. We kind of navigate through his minutes because, again, he's probably going to get injured at some point in time because he just come back from a hamstring injury. Obviously, touch wood, he doesn't, but you're going to have to kind of watch him. And again, you have to analyze his form, man. He might not be his best. And again, seasons are not linear just because you're upward trajectory. Sometimes you have an injury and it takes you 12 to 18 months to get back to your normal best. So, yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on, bro. But yeah, hopefully he comes back to his best, man. But it's not a surprise to me personally, man. I feel like potentially this was always going to be a potential thing that happens with him when he comes back from injury. He's not going to be the same for a while. We look at Odegaard, he's not been the same since, which is obviously a massive worry. So yeah, it's going to take a while, I think, but we'll have to wait and see how he does, man. But big yourself up for the comment. He reminds me of Owen. Yeah, a little bit, man. Lost in his explosiveness for sure, I think. Too many games, too young, and Arteta never rotates him. Yeah, this is why I'm kind of glad that we have got Madueke, just because it's someone to rotate with. Do you know what I'm saying? That he can actually be on the bench. He doesn't have to start every single game. He can be rested. Like, again, he's at a young age. He's playing week in, week out. There needs to be periods where you just kind of don't use him, especially in that League Cup. If we get a League Cup game against Plymouth at home, I don't want to see Saka playing, man. He just doesn't need to. Just rest him. Don't need to play him. He can have a day out. He can have a week off. Like, he doesn't have to play every single game. Do you know what I'm saying? Rest his body, make him chill out mentally, physically, and make him come back a fresher person, man. But we'll see, man. Well, big up everyone in the building, man. Like I said, I'm off now. See you, man, tomorrow at the end of the game. Until next time, I'm out, people. Peace.